Hello, today I want to take you into a subject that most people feel, but very few are able to name. A subject that creeps into our lives silently, leaving us confused, uncomfortable, and sometimes even trapped. I am talking about obsessed people. Yes, those who are fascinated by you to the point where it stops being admiration and turns into intrusion. They follow you without being seen. They mirror your words, your habits, your lifestyle. They slip into your life disguised as admirers, helpers, or even friends who care too much. But deep inside, your heart whispers something else. You sense the uneasiness. You feel the heaviness of their presence. You notice the lack of freedom whenever they are around. And let me tell you this, that inner voice is not paranoia. It is not weakness. It is your most powerful compass guiding you to a simple truth. These people are not here to admire you. They are here to control you. The hidden nature of obsession. Obsession always wears a mask. On the surface, it may look like love, loyalty, or genuine interest, but underneath, it is nothing more than a hunger for control. Why? Because obsessed people live on the surface. They don't know how to feel deeply, how to think deeply, or how to connect with others in a healthy way. They cannot build their own identity, so they attempt to borrow yours. They feed on your energy. They take your personality as their mirror, and slowly, they try to replace their emptiness with your presence. But the real danger is this. Once you resist them, once you say no, they don't simply walk away. To them, rejection is war. They will blame you, guilt-trip you, manipulate you, or double down on their obsession. And if you are not careful, you will find yourself entangled in their net, slowly losing your freedom piece by piece. Why direct confrontation fails? Here's the first mistake people make: confronting the obsessed person head-on. You tell them, stop. You tell them, you're going too far. And what happens? They escalate. They twist your words. They cry, they beg, they accuse, they dramatize. They thrive on the emotional storm you create, because every reaction you give them, whether anger, sadness, or fear, feeds their obsession. That's why the answer is not confrontation. It is something far more powerful, far more strategic. Strategy 1. Calm detachment. Detachment is not coldness, it is strength. You don't fight them, you don't explain, you don't overreact. You simply refuse to give them the emotional fuel they crave. No fear, no excitement, no strong reactions. Instead, treat them like a stranger at the bus stop, like a colleague at work, whom you greet with a polite nod and nothing more. Neutral tone, limited words, minimal response. At first, they may try harder. They will push, they will test you. But with time, they will realize that your world has no open door for them. Detachment is the language they cannot understand because their obsession feeds on energy, and you have denied them that food. Strategy 2. The depth test. Obsessed people are terrified of depth. They thrive only on surfaces, on images, routines, habits they can copy. But ask them to go deeper, and their entire mask begins to crack. Ask them questions that pierce the soul. When was the last time you cried for real? What memory makes you feel ashamed of yourself? What is the one thing you are afraid to admit to anyone? They will squirm. They will change the subject. They may even turn the question back on you, because obsession is not built on truth. It is built on emptiness, and emptiness cannot survive the light of self-reflection. Over time, they will retreat, because your presence forces them to confront themselves, and that is the one thing they fear more than losing you: your standards. The unbreakable wall. The strongest weapon you have is not anger. It is not revenge. It is standards. Standards are invisible walls that protect your heart and soul. Say it clearly. I value my privacy. Respect is non-negotiable. Safety matters to me more than flattery. When you hold these truths firmly, the obsessed person realizes they cannot climb your walls. They realize your energy is not free to take. And slowly, their grip begins to weaken. The trap of sweet words. Never forget this. Not all compliments are real. Sometimes obsession hides behind endless flattery. You're amazing. You're special. You're so kind. It feels good to hear, but deep down, you know something is off. That's because flattery is often a trap. It lowers your defenses. It makes you think, how could someone who praises me so much ever want to harm me? And when the day comes that they demand something heavy, something you don't want to give, you hesitate to say no. Remember, compliments are not currency. You don't owe anyone submission in exchange for their sweet words. The imitation warning. The clearest sign of obsession is imitation. They copy your words. They mimic your style. They duplicate your habits. At first, you think it's admiration, but with time, it becomes suffocating. Because they are not trying to be themselves, they are trying to be you. Worse still, they may creep closer to your friends, your family, your circle, trying to weave themselves into your life from every angle. That is not coincidence. That is intrusion. And the answer is simple. Cut them off. No explanations, no guilt. Just a firm, silent removal from your life. Because if you hesitate, they will tighten their grip until you are left without air. Manipulation games. The obsessed are masters of masks. They pretend to respect you until the moment you say no. Then the mask drops. Suddenly they accuse you, shame you, or twist the situation until you feel guilty for setting boundaries. This is where most people fall. They start explaining. They start justifying. But here's the golden rule. Never explain, never justify. Just say, this is my decision. I stand by it. Simple, clear, powerful. Who is truly strong? The obsessed person looks strong. They look determined. But beneath the surface, they are weak. Because obsession is not power. Obsession is emptiness, dressed as control. They cannot harm you unless you give them permission. They have no strength, only what they steal from your reactions, your energy, your fear. So don't look at them as powerful. Look at them as fragile souls who cannot stand on their own. And remember this truth. The moment you stop feeding them, they collapse. Final words. You are not responsible for anyone's obsession. You are not required to fix them, heal them, or entertain them. Your responsibility is simple. Protect your peace, respect your boundaries, and know when to walk away. Because real strength is not in shouting. It is not in dramatic battles. Real strength is in awareness, in silence, in walking away with dignity without losing yourself. So trust your intuition, respect your own standards, and never, ever hand your power to those who are desperate to take it. Stay strong, stay aware, and surround yourself only with those who respect your presence, not those who want to consume it. Thank you for listening. Until next time.